so jumping from that, I was thinking about the woman in the show who basically she wanted to kill everybody, and she died and yada yada yada. And then I was thinking like I feel like I almost got overwhelmed with the thought of death.
Oh,
in a way, I'm sure if Jen was here, she would mush me and tell me to shut up. But I almost felt like, I started reading. Sorry, backtrack. As my mind hasn't put it together yet.
Yeah.
So I started reading this book called "Cry Like a Man." I was telling you guys about it, and it deals with this guy's journey through growing up. He had such a difficult, hard life growing up, and it caused him to be very closed emotionally and very stunted, and then as he started to get older and things happen, and because of the way he was brought up and the things that he experienced, he was very closed off to it. He found religion, he found God, and turned his life around, and yada yada yada. Mm-hmm. Cool. But in that, in dealing with whatever he was dealing with, he basically said that he wasn't scared of things, and that caused him to not process things the right way, and basically look death in the eye. Mm. And so, in that, he was like, all right, found religion and learned about the afterlife, and you got to get saved, and so you can live eternal. And in that thought, I was like, okay, so when we die, the whole thing of religion is faith. Mm-hmm. You have faith that after you die, you go to either heaven or hell. But the logical in me is like, what if that's not the case? You just die? Like, what's after that if not heaven or hell? What if there's no life? Whatever. Right. So, of course, it's what you believe, and I'm not asking you to answer this. I know you're a churchgoer and religious, and I think I am to some degree, but still at the same time, I'm like, what really happens after death? Like, could death be it? Could it be nothing more than death?
What do you think?
I don't know, because I grew up in the church and I know that side of it.
Even outside of the church, what does your body tell you? What does your mind and your body connection tell you?
So I guess I can't see. I can't fathom there being nothing more when you die. Like I can't fathom just the end of your life is the end of your life and that's it. And I don't know if I can't fathom it because I'm just very small-minded. But then it's like, okay, so if you can't fathom there's nothing more, then of course I have to think of something that happens afterwards. Mm-hmm. And I think of, if it's just me, I mean, I could start a thing in my head and then tell the next person about it until they believe it's true, and they tell the next person they believe it's true, and yada yada yada. So I can go to my kids and be like, nah, after you die, there can't be nothing. You live and you go to a good place, or you get reborn into another life, and yada yada yada. And so it's like, I don't know what I believe because I feel like I'm looking for the proof that that's what happened. Yeah. And I know scientifically religion doesn't depend on the proof of that. It's the faith part. Right. So I was sitting there for 20 minutes like, yo, but what if you die and then there's nothing else? It's just darkness? But I mean, even if you knew it was darkness, you would still know. And that means you're still alive. And then, but could it be just ending? And if it was ending, what was it before? So I just had to share that.
Jen?
I was high.
Yes.
Come on, tell us what you think, because I'm about to get in it.
I was thinking about it because was it yesterday? Listening to something. It was something I've heard before, where it was just like, oh, I saw a picture of Adam and Eve, a drawing, but they had belly buttons. And whoever it was, I think it was Deion Cole, he was like, why would they have belly buttons? Who cut their umbilical cord? Right? And it's just funny to me because I'm like, no matter what, it had to be a start somehow. Right. And it's like, how does this shit start? If there's no real start, then that's how, to me, proves it had to be a God who started the whole shit. And I don't know how it ends. And also, I wouldn't say always, but more recently, I've been thinking that I think when you're born genetically with a certain color, a certain hair, a certain eye color. And you're also born with certain brain matter, which is based off of your ancestors and your parents' experiences. You know what I'm saying? So somebody who's good at, for example, math, they have a baby, that kid already is born with certain brain waves or whatever that makes them genetically predisposed to be being good at math,
Right.
where they can pick up on it quicker than somebody whose family was never good at it. That's just been something that I believed. I believe it's more to it than we even know, and we're ever going to be able to know, and we shouldn't even have the ability to know what happens after death. I'm like Darren. I'm always like, I don't know. What does happen? Do I become something else? Do I become another entity, another person? Do I get born as another baby in my same family? What happens? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, how could I know? But it's one of the things that I think about as well.
Yeah, I would love to, like, three of us and like some cool listeners get around a fire and just pass something around, just talk about this shit, man.
And that's why I don't get high.
You should, man. Brother, you would be 3 planets away right now, brother. You understand?
It's so, sorry, because I want you to answer, because I know you, I think of the three of us, you are the one that's the most religious.
Oh, for me, it's not even fully religion.
He be going to church, but I feel like religion plays a part into our beliefs of this. Were you gonna say something though? So, I guess what doesn't help is the fact that there's so many different theories. Like, okay, so just to dive into the theory that you're reborn or there was a life before you, and so there are different things that I've read or that makes sense. You know, like the whole I don't know if you heard about the deja vu.
That was going to be one of my points.
When you have deja vu, it's like this was a past life that you saw or a future life that this happened in or something like that. And I'm like, yo, that makes sense. I could see that. Okay, so you go. Tag, you're in.
So kind of like what both of y'all were saying, because this is some of the shit I'll just sit and think about by myself, and I'll like debate my own thoughts about shit, because things are learned, right? Everything starts with the mind, your ability to process and take in shit. So, like you said, there's a religious component. For those who aren't religious, there's the perspective of an atheist. For a Buddhist, you have their perspective. All things that we are learned or that are learned. And that's why I say, okay, outside of what you learn and what your brain, like, what do you feel? What does your body tell you? And then one side of me will say, that's where the deja vu comes in. That's where people who have premonitions or people feel like they were here before and all of that. It's but is that also just something in the mind? Is that just like I don't know, brain waves shooting off, just giving you different types of information, and then it turns into that? But then, like you said, you know, is it just darkness? But you would have to be conscious to know what darkness is. You know what I'm saying? So is it not that? Is it what Jen said, where, well, we came from somewhere? It wasn't just, unless you like subscribe to the Big Bang Theory, but even then, like, there's animals and there's insects and whatnot. Are we just here and then not? Or is that little thing that we feel different not connected to the mind? It's a soul. They say when people pass away, like if you're watching them when they pass away, it looks like their soul left them. Now, is that something I learned, or is it really just their last breath? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's all on how you think about it. But I think, like you said, not so much religion though. It's whatever path. Like, there's so many different paths that can explain life and then death, because you kind of have to put the two together, and what is after that. You know, but all of it is only based on what we learn. So like Jen said, at the end of the day, we don't know shit, B. You can go down this rabbit hole, debate it, but you know what? We don't know shit.
We don't know nothing, Jon Snow.
Oh, man. And that's why I think Jen, you mentioned we're too wise. We don't need to be, why do we need to know it? Why do we need to debate it? Just while you're here.
Just go through this life.
Don't be a jerk while you're here. And that's what most religions teach people. Yeah. So maybe it's not so much for the afterlife. Maybe that's something where they said that just to instill fear. Maybe it's just, yo, while you're here, don't be a dickhead. The end. Because it matters for people that are going to continue living. It matters for what you pass on, like what Jen said, through your genetics and through those brain waves. Because what you did here, if you were a dick, there's a good chance you're going to pass that to somebody else through your actions. So maybe it only matters while you're here. Why are we debating what happens when we're not? Because you live on when you're gone anyways. So that is the afterlife, B.
Open your third eye, beloved.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
It's not open yet.
It's real, my G.
Thank you for. I didn't think I would be able to have this type of conversation,
Hey.
and not see no, and not it not received well, because like even the more I thought about it, the more I felt like yo, like what is it, like what is it, and I'm like, the more I'm asking, the more I'm like, I don't know, like who knows? Nobody can know,
Right?
And then I'm like, oh, well, that's the beauty of human life, that you don't know what's after it, so it impacts how you live today,
Right.
So, but dope.
No, it's real. We don't know shit. Man, I could do this all day. I ain't never told y'all about my galaxy theory.
No. I mean,
Like we are our own galaxy.
Is this the ant thing?
Did I? I said it?
Is this you remember the episode where we didn't record? The audio didn't pick up well, and we went into the whole.
Oh, that episode! Ants, I remember that. Yeah,
we're ants, and there's something bigger than us.
Yeah. That's the yeah.
So have this conversation again,
real quick. For the listeners, we look up, right? We can look up at buildings. You look up at somebody taller than you. Then we can look up to clouds. Then we look up to stars and the sun and all of that. And then you get a telescope. You can look out to other planets and other solar systems and whatnot and other galaxies. How small are we? We are microscopic in the grand scheme of things. Now, Darren, you are a god. You are a god. Jen, you are a god. I'm a god. Why? We have our own galaxy, right? Because there's a bunch of shit living in us. Our skin is alive, right? Our cells are alive. If Corona's floating around in somebody, that thing is alive, or within. So imagine, right? Because we only apply our own shit. We eyes, nose, mouth, all that shit. But what if through the other senses or whatever it is, those whatever things in us have their own life, and they're like, yo, what's going on up there? Why are we jostling around? Well, somebody's jogging. You know what I'm saying? Why does this part of the body doing this? Why is blood rushing over here? It's because, I don't know, people are having sex. You know what I'm saying? Like that, there's activities going on within us that's like, yo, who's controlling us? You know what I'm saying? We are the galaxy. We are God, yo. See?
Like I was saying in that same episode, to us, we are like the big thing in the universe, but what if there's like a person bigger than us who's like, to us, we're like the ants.
Come on, man.
I mean, and they're like, oh, look at them just walking around, but really we got a whole civilization, and we be looking down at ants. Like, oh, look at them just walking around, we be stepping on them, but they got an actual whole civilization. They got their own news channels, and they got their own schools, they have their own, and the ants got something smaller than them, like the little cells and the mitochondria, and they be looking down on them, and you know what I'm saying? Like,
it's real.
That's how I know that I've grown, because I was so annoyed with you two having this conversation the first time, and now I'm sitting there like,
look at your evolution.
In your body, there is a universe.
Come on, man.
It's kind of like you remember Men in Black?
Yep.
At the end of it, when they show you the animation. Yeah, it's just like that.
Into that little,
it was like the galaxy was like the middle of a marble, and there was like 13 marbles.
Yep.
And the alien just grabbed it all and put it in a sack and just.
Yes. Wow. That we know nothing, and the more we try to learn, we just figure out there's more to learn.
Yeah.
So why are we going crazy, going to the moon, doing all this shit? We are never gonna know everything. Yeah, things help, but you're never gonna know everything.
But that's man's thirst for knowledge,
and that's why we fall.
Oh.
Adam and Eve.
Yo,
come on, man.
Jen. 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 Man, we gotta stop.
We ain't going nowhere.
Jen. Man.
It's real.
This guy's deep.
Do animals seek knowledge?
You're right, they don't.
Right?
They don't.
Yeah.
They just live in.
They just live. There's Darwinisms going on, right? There's natural selection and stuff, but for the most part, they just here. Are the ants destroying the planet? We're the only ones destroying this planet. You know what I'm saying? Because the seeking
as far as we know.
I feel like if Gina's listening, she's like, "Oh God, no,
who gave him an edible?
This shit again."
Because I be trying to talk to her about it, but I don't know if she connected. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if her eye fully dilated. You know what I'm saying? Her third eye isn't dilated.
Perfect, Jen. Perfect. Virtual high five.